You hide your truth and lie to the public. I'm being respectful. You hide your truth and you lie. You're with the Satan. You're Satan, man. You hide your truth and lie to the public. That's what you do. You know it. And I hope in your heart you feel it. I hope you feel guilty.
You've got a lot of like social media attention. What kind of feedback have you gotten since like you were covering the convoy?
All it takes is just kind of one tweet to blow up. And obviously it was the one of us getting kind of berated there before a live hit on the show. The feedback is varying. You know, you did a lot of local support, a lot of support from your peers and journalism, some of your viewers. You're seeing lots of support there. But then, you know what, once it gets shared by Rebel Media, you're getting the exact opposite and getting berated online. Just constant ridicule, constant harassment that is completely unmerited.
Can you take me back to the morning of January 27th?
There's a mistrust in the media among this subsection of the population. So you go in there and you know, my mentality is to go in just with a positive attitude, with a smile, meeting people, wanting to talk to people, even if you don't agree with them. What's frustrating when you see one tweet go viral like that is it doesn't show the whole picture, because honestly, when we were there, people were happy that we were there covering it. We did our first live hit at 6 o'clock. It was all fine.
At about 100 people here right now in support of these truckers making their way to Ottawa. Back to you.
It's the people who start these protests that really aren't the ones that are anti-media or really against you being there. They want to get their message across. That's why they're so spirited towards it. It's the people who show up after. The people who aren't a part of any of these organizational of it, that are just angry, that just want to go and yell at someone.
How did this experience compare to like other sort of controversial events you've reported on, like in your career, like where maybe people aren't happy you're there?
I covered the housing protest that happened in August, on August 18th, and you know, I was in the thick of it. I was there all day, all morning as the encampments were being torn down. You don't get that kind of rhetoric towards media at those events. You know you're going to get it whenever you go to a Save Canada trucker convoy one. And I think it's good to kind of experience both to really see the difference between them, because it was stark.
Would you say like this convoy was like the most verbal abuse you've gotten in your career?
This was the worst one for sure. Worst one on air, definitely. Hands down the worst one of having to address that on air.
They are making it clear, excuse me, sir, can you please let me do my job? Thank you. They're making it clear that they are in support of the truckers, not against, they're in support of the vax. Excuse me, guys, I'm sorry. I'm being a little bit distracted here right now.
Can you speak a little bit more on that, like on like how this is something that reporters are facing like across the country right now?
Really an interesting conversation that we're having, because it's a freedom rally, except freedom of the press. You know, freedom of the press is supposed to be a pillar of democratic society. And that should be what these people are fighting for. But it's only select freedom, which I find really interesting. It's only their freedom, not the freedom to report, the freedom to speak, the freedom to interview. I think it's important to be defending journalism, defending the profession. And I do that when I find it necessary.